Hello movie enthusiasts and welcome back to Cinema Central for another movie review. As always, I'm your host, DJ Ace, and I hope you got your mind sharpened because it is time to talk about Knives Out as I continue to catch up on these reviews. Knives Out is a movie that is an original take on the classic whodunit genre and was a fun ride to witness through all of its crazy twists and turns and many machinations. Murder mysteries will always hold a special place in my heart, kind of in the same vein as heist films. I do enjoy watching them and really appreciate a good one when it comes out, and Knives Out is no exception. This movie is written and directed by Rian Johnson, yes, the same guy who directed The Last Jedi, and he has put together a convoluted yet focused murder mystery that I think people will be talking about for a while. Including a stellar cast, this movie has easily landed in my top 10 films of the year. So those are my initial impressions. I really enjoyed this movie, as you may have already guessed, but because of the genre of this film, I'm actually going to make this review spoiler free because this is not the kind of movie I want ruined for you. So please, don't spoil this movie for yourself or anyone else. So I know even speaking the name Rian Johnson is a little taboo since that whole Star Wars The Last Jedi thing, but clearly if you give this man an original concept and let him do his thing, he can put together a fantastic film. So maybe don't do any more franchises, Ryan, because you clearly are better at this sort of thing. I'm not going to go into the plot too much because that is where most of this movie's madness ensues, but as we see in the trailer, a mystery novelist played by Christopher Plummer is dead by apparent suicide, and the family has come together for like the funeral and all that, but Daniel Craig plays a private investigator, and he is really my favorite character in this film because he has this ridiculous southern accent, and again in the trailer he says, "I do suspect foul play." So he is going to look into it and everyone involved, and it is very fun to watch because the movie fakes you out so many times because it'll like blatantly show you here's something that happened and make you think you know what is going on and then turn that on its head, and it does this multiple times. This is a movie you really have to pay attention to as you watch it. Like every little detail is important and I really appreciate that. It keeps you, the viewer, engaged, and while that is the goal of any movie, it just felt more so with Knives Out. And also it's not that serious of a movie either, as there are plenty of antics and humor that ensue. I also enjoyed the overall vibe of this movie. It was done on a pretty modest budget with only a handful of different locations, the main one being the mansion, of course, and it's nice to see that you can still make great movies without these gigantic $100 million budgets. So I did appreciate that. The other thing that I really liked is that it is set in modern day, so like 2019. Now it was a little dated because they raised some topics and some discussions that were relevant like 6 months ago, but with a lot of murder mysteries, it seems to me they like to set them in like different time periods. Example, last year's Murder on the Orient Express, or even the Sherlock movies, not the TV show. But of course, those are all based on books, but because this is an original story and could have been set in any time period, I just don't think it could have worked any other way. But while the plot is amazing, the actors really make this movie what it is. There's an all-star cast involved in this story. I already mentioned Christopher Plummer and Daniel Craig, but you also got the likes of Jamie Lee Curtis, Chris Evans, Michael Shannon, Toni Collette, and a whole lot more people. You can just tell that they enjoyed putting this movie together. They all have very different roles, and that just really helps build the dynamic of this movie. And I really enjoyed all of their performances. The banter was pretty fantastic between everyone involved. Great acting, great dialogue, great chemistry. I can't really ask for more than that. Of course, the dialogue goes back to writing, which again was really great. Another thought though is that I feel like there could be room for a sequel with Daniel Craig's character to continue as a PI. Just like put him in a different situation. Like none of these people should be in a sequel, but especially when you consider he is about to do his last James Bond movie, Craig is going to need something else to do. Like even a prequel would make sense for this character, and I hope it's something that could possibly happen in the future. So that is all I have to say about this pretty fantastic film. If you get the chance, I would highly recommend seeing Knives Out. Thanks for listening, movie enthusiasts. I'm DJ Ace, and I'll see you on the next one, which will be A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. And also don't forget to visit the Facebook page at Ace Cinema Central for more episodic reviews of The Mandalorian. Until next time.
Booyah!